in the Bahamas. Yes. How did the Bahamas play a role? We'll learn about that. But today, we'll be learning about positive and negative effects of prohibition in the Bahamas. So, positive effects of prohibition in the Bahamas. So, prohibition was a mixed blessings for the Bahamas. Hence, we have both positive and negative effects. So, there was a traffic increase in tourists traveling to the Bahamas. This is considered a positive. Nassau Harbor was dredged to 25 feet. The electricity plant was enlarged, and city water and sewage systems were installed. Purchasing of prime land in the Bahamas. We found that a lot of people who were moving to the Bahamas during this time were purchasing prime land in large quantities. And the quality of lifestyle improved. Bahamians frequently hosted and attended parties and balls. Yeah, so the social life increased or improved greatly. So we're continuing to look at the positive effects of prohibition in the Bahamas. Fortunes were made by individuals and the government. So some of the individuals or the families would be the Bethels, Simonets, and Collins. And to this day, they're still prospering here in the Bahamas just from the prohibition industry, I would say. So the implementation of import duty and quickly paid off the public debt. So fortunes were made for both the government and individuals. This is the government. This is how they were able to make their fortune. They charge about 12 shillings per container of alcohol that enters and left the country. And in addition to paying off the debt, they actually accumulated a great amount of savings in our treasury. Yes. So, negative impacts of prohibition in the Bahamas. Like we said, it was a mixed blessings. We have positive. Now we're going to look at the negatives. While Nassau prospered, the out islands were neglected, and with them agriculture and the sponge fishing industry. The decade of the 20s, which saw much progress in the laying of the material foundations of Nassau, also witnessed the growth of many social ills. The repeal of the prohibition combined with the natural and man-made disasters reintroduced the Bahamas to its customary poverty. So a byproduct of prohibition was an increase in crime. An example of that would be prostitution and violence. What we saw was some of the main reasons why the temperance group in the United States wanted the end of the consumption of alcohol and the sale and manufacture as well as transport. Their rationale for it, we saw these things happening here in the Bahamas. Prostitution and violence was one. With the a byproduct of the tourist industry was the contraception of diseases such as yellow fever, as well as though there were negligence in family island development and agriculture. Also, social ills were found in the United States became a reality. The Bahamas too, broken family systems. That was one of the main complaints by women in the United States. Husbands neglecting their family. And then we saw the same thing happening here when Bahamian men would leave the family islands to go seek the, you know, better paying job, less labor intensive job, and some of them would not look back. They'd establish their own families, their own life, and forget about their children. So let's continue to look. So following the end of Prohibition, very few Bahamians had acquired wealth, which left riches in hand of the few, and that's the most unfortunate. Now, this isn't necessarily because um, the persons who were successful were necessarily of a lighter hue. It certainly did a system because the reality is, in that type of era, if you look at the context where colorism and racism was at its high, Of course, persons of a lighter hue or persons with similarities in terms of physical appearance to that of the Caucasian specimen would, of course, receive preferential treatment. But at the same time, too, they invested their money. They didn't spend their money foolishly by taking care of multiple families or just by wasting their money drinking. So, let's look at some more. A lot of Bahamians were being drunkards, leaving their families to be employed in prohibition job field, just as what I was saying. Additionally, the riches of bootlegging national prohibition was eventually repealed in 1933. So once prohibition ended, that means the Bahamas role in prohibition had to end subsequently. So that money that we were now receiving were becoming obsolete. And in addition, the worst hurricane occurred during this time that affected New Providence. So we went to, once again, another set of poverty.